Looks like some strange sediment. Are those stones that it's coming off? I got a little bit of a river coming up. Let me see what we got here. Whoa. All that soccer and basketball. I like the erosion here. I think they did here down the river. Look, someone was bringing their paper towels. It's a cool look. Yep, of course, the corona light. Buggers are everywhere. It's interesting right here. Found a piece of pottery. Good sign. More corona light. Always good to see old brick. Got any bottles hiding in here? Some more brick. I like the bricks. Wonder if I should get my detector down here. The only reason this little shard of glass is interesting is because this is an older Coca-Cola. Well, I decided to pull my detector out, no surprise there. I got a clad dime, which is really not surprising. Strange. And then I got a high signal. I'm really not sure what this is, but it did spike my interest. Little design on it. Well, it's an interesting color. It can either be clad or silver. And based on the Washington, let me say that is close to, sure looks like silver. And it's a 40, yep, a 40 something. That's a silver quarter right there. 1941. Found a good spot, Maddie. It's a silver quarter from 1940.
Is that good?
That's great. Well, destination number 2. Fishing-wise, we had to try a different spot. So we will definitely go back to that spot, Maddie. Already found a penny sitting on the edge here. Maddie's carp fishing and crappie fishing. We are at low tide, and this area is affected by the tide. Let's see. It's brackish water. Broken bottles. Strange. There's a little bottle sitting over there. Looks like some kind of circuit board. Little bottle pieces in here.
Let's get the carp rod hooked up.
Carp rod and the magnet.
Oh,
Kyle.
Yeah.
Forgot about the magnet. There's always something to explore. You just got to keep your eyes open for it. I'm just walking in the parking lot. I picked up a dime and a penny. And this construction site that they work on during the week, it's just a piece of property interesting enough to scan, although it looks like there's a lot of recent garbage on top. But you gotta look for these areas that they dug down in, because they get down a few levels for you. A lot of garbage. So far, just what is to be expected. Old, newer bottles, nothing super old. Fence pieces. Sometimes a place like this can pull up a nice old insulator. Since it's right next to the highway, they would have tossed them into the side. It's worth a shot. I guess it wouldn't be a search until I found a bowling ball. Look at that guy. Nothing but strikes. See, 70s and 80s. Need to be a little deeper. Now, I'm back exploring a place I was checking out with my son last week, and without even realizing it, I never went to the top section of it, which is interesting because we got much more of a river here under this bridge. That's where the falls are. I might have a better time doing some detecting up here and walking upriver. Huh, didn't even know this was here. It's a beer bottle. Well, I had to reach in and grab this one, but it was a good signal and a good artifact. It's an old pocket knife. Tell most of the knife is already rusted away, but the wood side is still there. Gives me some hope that there's some older things here. Alright, still bouncing around underneath this bridge. And I think this spoon's got a little bit of age to it. It's not silver, but I'll be able to tell by the markings on it. Just another good sign. Beach erosion. He's heading out in the water. And some nice erosion here and a nice little cut, but the good old ocean dropped a whole bunch of soft sand on top of everything. So we are really pulling up zilch. Zipperino, nothing, nada. Focus. It appears they put some sand back here. Because my hill is way up again, but look at all that nice stuff to explore. At a good low tide. I got a good hour and a half to do some hunting. Bird pieces. Where's my broken pottery pieces? Interesting. Some stuff to look at. Nothing old. A lot of wind last couple days. Days of rain. It's an older piece of glass right there. Wonder where they got this sand from. Brick glass. Brick glass. All right, well, look at all those stones. What are the chances? Sorry. If I take this home, that will actually play something. I'm starting off with this little edge here, trying to see if I can pull out of any age, and I think this piece is brass. I'm not really sure what it is. Light switch plate, maybe. I'll clean it up when I get home to see if anything's written on it. It might date this section a little bit older, I'm not really sure. So I'm going to continue on. That right there is pretty backed up. So although it's junked up, it's a good sign to pay attention to this cut a little bit more because it could have some age to it. Now that Indian head penny was right there, no more than 16 inches to the right of it, I got another hit, a much higher hit, which if it's dated in the penny area, could definitely be silver. So I'm going to try and hit this. Yeah, it's showing a 24, and it's right there. Oh, a little more on the greener side. I was thinking that was possibly silver. But we're looking at another penny, and it's more modern. That's why I came up so high. Amazing, right next to an Indian head penny. It was a more modern one. Now this might be a little more interesting. It looks like, as I'm going to guess right now, one of these encrusted dimes that I'm going to be able to pick off and really get a good idea of what this is. But that's definitely silver, dime, not sure how old it is. You're going to see me picking the crust off in about 5 seconds. It's an interesting little piece with A&A on it. The holes on the side, it might be a bag seal, which means it would be pretty old. Well, it's funny, my brother just texted me to see how I was doing, and I came across this strange looking coin. Let me tell you, it's got kind of an odd shape. Can't see much on this side. It rang up silver, but I definitely see maybe the formation of a cross there. It's going to be banged up no matter what, but that might be a real. I just sent my brother a picture and he said the same thing. It looks like there's a cross there. I'm not really sure. Strange spot to find it. I'm hoping to get some more out of this when I get it home. Well, with the tide coming in, this section is still giving me some older artifacts. I just pulled up a really old flat button, and I believe this is another Indian head penny. Yeah, I think that's about one of the most beat up mercury dimes I've ever found, but it's silver.